So I would like to show you how to use our laser cutter. Now usually it's a little bit loud in here. It will get even louder when we turn it on. But let's focus on the system here. Right, this is our laser cutter over here. We'll show you how to turn things off. But before we start, we will take a look at the desktop here. You need to load your software for the laser cutter. It's this software here, RDWorks 8. Usually you will have things you want to burn. You have those like on your flash drive. You bring them here and you open it up. So let's take a look at some examples we might have. Right, I have a bunch of them in my folder here. So we need to import the files. The files need to be DXF files. Okay. So let's see here, file, import. This is in my home folder. Let's take a look at the protractor. When you save the DXF files, you need to save them in metric format, millimeters. Okay. So open these. Now you see the whole object focused in your field of view. You zoom out, and this is the size of your desk, of your cutting table, and this kind of makes sense as the size of your protractor. I selected all objects and move them over here, right? And if I don't want these parts down here, I, for example, can remove them. Okay, and you see this object has two colors, black and red. That's actually a problem because the red one here, this is red too. Okay, now we need to make this red because anything we want to cut needs to be the same color, and anything we want to engrave needs to be the same color. So you see here, this has two colors. Red one is our cutting color for this case here. Sometimes I use black, it doesn't really matter. So here, I clicked twice on this object over here, and then a parameter library comes up. I want to cut this with MDF, the particle board. It's 4 millimeter thick. I load it, don't save it, I load it. And now I have the parameters that I set for the particle board, speed 40 and cutting at 95% power. Okay, so we assigned those parameters, and now for the engraving I click on the black. Right, this would still be cutting. So now we find the settings for engraving here. Load. Okay. And this will just go over the surface and cut. Turn the laser on at only 15%, but it will scan really fast. If you have a graphics, like a circle, you can actually draw a circle here, and if you want to engrave the circle, so we would give it a different color, right? Let's see here, this circle. I make it green. Now we have a green color. I can also use different parameters for that device. There's cutting and there's scanning, and the other ones I really don't know. But usually when you have an enclosed surface, like this green one, it will scan inside of it. I believe for these ones it will basically just scan along a line and burn a line into your material. Okay, so we can clean this. There's only one these ones. So that would be the setup. Now if I want multiple parts, I usually start in the top right. Right. And then I just duplicate them, Control probably D. And I have another one. Okay, Control copy and Control V, that should work also. I select them and move them over, and so I can make two parts. Okay? So this is the setup for the laser cutter. Now we would like to send this to the laser cutter, and for that purpose we need to turn on our laser cutter. We need to do a few things for this. We need to first make sure that the water chiller is working, and we need to make sure that air compressor is working, and we need to make sure that the exhaust fan is running too. Exhaust fan you can hear. The chiller you can likely hear too, but you should take a look at the temperature, and the compressor you need to touch. So let's take a look at that. So for this purpose, we need to turn on all equipment, and it's going to get really loud, okay? The main switch is over here. Turn this on. This will get this fan going here in the back. Second. This fan, exhaust fan, will run. Okay. Now we will slowly move this back for you to see the chiller at the bottom. We take a look at the right side here. Right. This is supposed to show about 20 or so degrees. Okay. The air compressor is this device. Okay, this is running too. Now we're ready to start the laser. Okay. For that purpose we need to get over to the laser. This time we had the emergency stop, we disengage it, and now we can turn it on. You see the light will come on, temperature will be indicated. In this case here it's in Fahrenheit and not centigrades, and this is the current going to the laser. While it engages it, it will start zeroing the air in here. Right? We will move this forward and back until it's at the initial location, at the 0, 0 location. Now we will want to load some material into the laser. And it's really tight in between here, so you need to lower this cable. So on here, this is the menu button. It's hard to see, but right now Z move is engaged, and I can increase the Z position. It went actually up, right? This is not what we want. We want this to go down. So I can push this for a little while, and one can see that the head is going down. Okay? Now I have much more space. I can load my material. This is the sheet. You put in the sheet, it doesn't really matter where. Okay. You can see the sheet actually is warped. This is sticking up, so maybe you want to actually turn it in backwards. It needs to be as flat as possible. So now we need to tell the laser where it's 0, 0. So first I move this back up a little. Right, not too much. Then I go escape. Now I can move the laser forward and back again, the head. And you may be able to see there's a red dot where it will start cutting. So we'll move this red dot at the top right position, right, and this becomes 0, 0. In order to make it 0, 0, I need to push the origin button. Origin, so this is now 0, 0. If I move this around, right, it will go back again to that position. Let me escape. Did you see? If I click frame, this was a previous file that was cut, it will move back again where I had origin, although I had moved it by hand. So the next step now is to move the file over. But before we move the file, let's zero also the z-axis, right? We zeroed x and y, now we need to also zero the z. And for that purpose, we again go to menu, we click it all the way down. It's very hard to see, but it's the lowest setting here, autofocus, and we click on enter. Enter, and we can see that this goes up, it hits, and then it moves away its that position. It moves away 5.2 millimeter. And somewhere on this setup here, I write down what the distance needs to be. I write here 6 to 6.5 millimeter. Okay? To make this go to 6.66 millimeter, I push the menu button again, the center, it's Z move, and I see it's 5.2. Right? Maybe smaller, left, maybe bigger, click again, and now I have 6.6. So this is going to be my cutting height. Okay? So now we're ready to download the file. So to download the part we want to cut, we need to select all of the parts. Excuse me, and click on the download button. Give it a name. Only 8 characters long. Click OK. Now it's sending it to the machine. Successfully downloaded. Let's head over to the machine and see whether the file is. So on this setup here, you can see we're still in one of the menus. We click escape until we get to the top menu. Then I click on file. And the latest file I have is all the way on the top. And you can see here some symbol illustrating what we want to cut. This is what I want. I click enter. I can see the parts. I can see the cutting speed. And I could click this button here to cut the part. Let me move the camera so you can actually see this machine going. So he cut the first part, then he cuts the second part, and then he will engrave. So now we can see that the laser head is moving forth and back. Turning on top of the written text using the settings for the engraving. This is how the machine works. So we're finished cutting. The one thing you want to check is that the cut actually went all the way through. For that purpose you push this down and you see whether you can remove the part. Right, it's all the way down. If it's not done, you let go. And you cut one more time, you're on the same file again. On this file here, you can also see there's some issues, right? Because the text is not well legible. So you would need to use a different type of engraving for this